The reason I ask you to send my Gmail is my phone doesn't work sometimes, the Zoom meeting.
Yep, we're here. Nadal,
Yeah, it is, but in the
Nadal,
middle
we're
of,
here.
I thought it hung up or something. I don't know.
I made a mistake and hit the mute button. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But you guys can hear Nadal clearly?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
it.
Okay, cool. Let me let Mark in.
Should you call Mark or?
Oh, he's in here.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't let him in. It's my fault.
Okay.
Just making sure everybody can hear Nadal one last time, and Nadal, that you can hear everybody so we can get started.
Man, I can hear, yeah. I mean, can they all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so let's get started. So the reason why I'm having this meeting is specifically so that Nadal can ask whatever questions that he would like to ask and get clarity, because he has expressed to me on several different occasions that he's getting one story from you, Nathaniel, Jason, and another story from me. So I want Nadal to be able to ask whatever questions that he would like to ask, and we'll provide him whatever information that we have and kind of clear the air so that there's a source of truth so that he can make his own informed decision.
For me, all I'm trying to do is get some transparency. I feel like from the time I came into this company, I don't have any transparency. When I first came and I put up my money, I was under the impression that my money was basically the sole purpose for that is to get the plant there, get the plant up and going, and we're going to ramp up the sales because we have so many big deals lined up that we're going to be able to sell the stuff. Ever since I came into this company, I don't know. I don't think people have been telling me the truth. I don't think this stuff has been happening like it's supposed to be. All was being told from after we put the money up and started everything, they've been doing testing. All I've been doing is testing and gathering data and testing and gathering data. Well, when I came to the company, this is from Jason, when he told me that they already had the testing done, everything was lined up, they know the product, they know the stuff, it's ready to go, they have people lined up. Mr. Park was going out there and doing sales, and they were having sales and everything. And ever since then, there was really nothing happened.
Okay. So Nadal, let me. Oh, okay.
So, seeing as from that time till today, is they've been collecting money from people, and then that money is like voodoo, it's gone. Where's the money? $8 million. First thing, does anybody have accounting with the $8 million where it went? It's just like, where did all that money go? To testing? I mean, we did testing for $8 million. Does anybody know what the product is? Because I asked a question about the product a million times, and nobody was able to answer me. Does this product sell? Does it have any value to it? Why aren't we selling it? Why can't we sell it? I asked that question numerous times to everybody. And basically, I really never got a straight answer. I mean, obviously, if the product could sell, we would have been selling it by now. We're making money. But obviously, right now, we're on the verge of going bankrupt. Well, we are bankrupt anyhow, because there's nothing left in the company. And basically, I think I've been misled. There's no transparency. There is no product sales, that was the main purpose why I invested money to have a lot more product sales. All the testing we did and all the data, I don't know where all the stuff is. The stuff that they told me about the chicken feed, we're going to be doing the chicken feed. Also, another line for doing makeup. I didn't see any of that. And then the financials, I don't see the financials. The equipment that we spent all that money on, according to Ralph, it's junk. It's no good. But basically, anyhow, we don't have it now. It's gone. Even if we have it, we can't use it because you can't produce anything with it. And it just looks like, to me, I'm just saying it the way it is. It looks like to me, it's a scam from day one. It's a scam company. They basically bring people in, take their money, and really there's no product. Where's the product?
Okay.
Is there any product out there?
Yeah. So let me try to capsulate which to summarize what your question is, and then let me give you some context. So I know that there was before we get into the more recent conversations, your sentiment is exactly my sentiment. Where did the money go? What was it spent on? Why, when the company when I was appointed CEO, why were we in the situation that we were in? And it's taken a lot of research and uncovering and deep dives to understand what's happened. And I've tried to communicate that to everyone what's happened. And basically, this is the first time that I explained this to you a little bit before, Nadal. And from the get-go, from the genesis of this company, the company was doomed to fail. And the reason why is very simple. The original inventor and the original person that came up with the technology, his name is Wyan Kim. He is the algae expert. He is the person that knows how to grow the algae. He's the one who owned the facility.
Say something and you can continue. Well, when I came into the company, they told me Mr. Park was the inventor.
No, Mr. Park knows nothing. Mr. Park is a water guy. Mr. Park knows how to sterilize and clean water. Mr. Park is not an algae guy, and he knows very little about algae. And we've discovered that and confirmed that over the last 7 years. Mr. Park is living in Korea right now because Nathaniel found out that he couldn't provide the mode of action to why our product works. And Mr. Park was issuing kickbacks to the people that were purchasing the product. And that is the reason why Mr. Park has not been in the United States for the past 5 years. But I don't think anyone has had the gall to tell you the truth about the Mr. Park situation. Nathaniel, hold on, Nadal. Nathaniel, am I misrepresenting anything I'm saying?
Could you repeat that again? I'm a little baffled, but can you repeat what you just said about Mr. Park?
Why is Mr. Park why did you have Mr. Park go back to Korea?
I didn't send him back.
Nathaniel.
That was his own choice.
Nathaniel.
That was his own choice.
We all know when we have the video recordings
yes.
of Angela saying why Mr. Park was sent back to Korea. We all have the video recordings of Mr. Park unable to tell us the mode of action of how our product works. You know this. And now because we're at the end of the road, you're trying to band up with Mr. Park, but you know that Mr. Park did not know anything about algae. You know that the Wyan Kim is the doctor who has all the technology and knows how to grow the algae properly. That's why so much money was spent on research and development and all of these testing, because Mr. Park took the information from Wyan Kim and tried to commercialize it here. You know this.
Yeah, that part is correct. That Mr. Park was his partner, Wyan Kim's partner. They both represented to me as well that they were the joint inventors. Over time, we did discover that Mr. Park didn't know as much. That is part of the reason why we started digging deeper into the science, and we got into the whole metabolomics study with Virginia Tech. So we followed the science.
Did you ever tell? Okay, hold on, Nathaniel.
We followed the science.
Did you tell Nadal that before he invested money?
No, because I didn't know that.
Hold on. You all told me you had the science, you had everything patented, you had all the stuff ready to go. And basically the purpose of my money was to get the plant and then put the equipment in there and start mass producing it and selling it. You never told me anything about you're going to be doing more testing and more data. You never told me that. That didn't happen until I got in later. And then every time I get into the meeting, why are we not selling this stuff? We need to have the data. We don't have the data. Why are we not selling the stuff? We need to get more data. We need to do more testing. Nobody ever told me all this stuff. Nobody.
Okay, Nadal.
Including my friend Jason, the guy that's supposed to tell me all this stuff and be honest with me. He never told me any of that shit either.
Nadal, I didn't know it myself. If I knew how much testing was going to be involved to prove it,
if you didn't know it yourself, why when I came in, you all told me that all the stuff was already done and patented and ready to go? Why didn't you tell me from that time, hey, we still have to do all the testing, we still have to get all the data and everything, that I would have a better idea? But I was under the impression from you and Jason and everybody that I talked to that everything was already been done.
all I can say is I had no idea that it was going to be so hard to provide a lot of evidence to the buyers. I was a neophyte. I admit it. I was over my head, but I did not mislead you, Nadal. I did not say, I mean, I didn't know how much testing there was going to be in the future. That's the bottom line. I didn't know.
How long was that with the company? Like 5 years, 7 years, whatever the hell it was and everything? You know, the whole time it was testing. There was really no product sales at all. None.
No, there was product sales, but it was
that's about it.
Nadal, I admit the product sales were very slow. We pivoted from retail to B2B. We talked about this every single quarter about why it would take longer to do that. So I did not mislead you. I did not mislead any of the directors in any of this. I was open and transparent, and I was frustrated too, Nadal. I was frustrated.
From the beginning, when I came in there, when you all pitched the whole thing to me, basically you told me everything was done. And then what did you find out later?
Nadal, what do you mean by saying
you find out before I came in?
Nadal, I didn't know that it was going to be so difficult.
Okay, but when did you, Nathaniel, when did you find out?
I was telling everybody every quarter what was going on.
But when did you find out about the science? When did you find out that basically Mr. Park doesn't know anything? That basically we all chasing a wild dream, a wet dream, whatever the hell you want to call it.
It's just Mr. Park is not a scientist, and so that became apparent.
You never brought that up in the meeting.
Well, I didn't say Mr. Park's not a scientist. That is true. What I did say is we are following the science. Nadal, I did say we were following the science, and that's why we got the grants to go to.
I invested my money in no science. I invested my money. I hate to say it, in a scam. There was no allergy. There was no business. It was people. You guys were just taking advantage of people. All of you collected money from people and taking their money, and basically there was nothing there that they can count on. There was no data. There was no. There was no testing done prior.
Nadal,
there was nothing. There was
Nadal,
nothing.
you are now saying that's absolutely not true. There was lots of data. There were lots of field trials. We needed the field trials to be able to sell.
Where's the data at?
It's online. I mean, I haven't looked at it recently, but
hold on. So well, wait a minute. If you spend all that money on data, what does the data say?
The data says it works again and again and again. And that's Nadal. I explain that every single quarterly meeting. We talked a lot about.
If it worked, like you say, it worked. Why we can't sell this shit?
That sales and trials are different stories. It turns out that selling is a lot more difficult than we thought. And I think that both Thomas and Ralph can attest to that. It's hard to sell.
Wait.
Hold on. Nathaniel, the sales that we had in Florida and California came through me. And after I left, the sales significantly dropped off. Basically, when Ralph and I talked to Nadal last week, he was under the impression that Mr. Parks made all the sales and was able to get all of this stuff done. And I just said we should all get on a phone call and make this happen. And if I didn't make any phone calls, if I didn't make any sales, we would have never got into California. We would have never had any sales in Florida. And so that's far from the truth. And you called me one day. When I called you one day and said, hey, are there any letters on what's going on? You said to me, Thomas, I want to apologize. This is a lot harder to sell than I thought. And
Yes.
and and I apologize on how well you were doing, is what you
Yes.
told me.
Yes, exactly. I agree
And
with that. Yeah.
hold on.
Mhm.
And I was let go in the middle of COVID, and the
Mhm.
significant sales was me. And I was being undermined the whole time when I was making sales.
Mhm.
Okay. And you knew it because I had told you about I was being undermined, but it was
Mhm.
okay. And then you said, well, Thomas, you're in Florida and California. We'll put Mr. Parks out there and we'll go from there. And that shit, the door slammed on all of that, the way things were being handled out there. This is like letting a
Which were
flight
the
attendant fly
kickbacks,
the damn airplane.
which were the kickbacks that the company was paying that Angela told us about.
Mhm.
And that is what set you to make a CEO decision to kind of to compartmentalize Mr. Park. And that's why it's like
Yeah,
you have to,
I took him out of sales.
yes. But you have to get to a point, like, you can be upset with me for delivering information,
Mhm.
but in order to move forward, we have to tell the truth of what happened. Y'all get on the phone with Nadal and tell people, oh, I'm lying, I'm withholding information, I'm doing this and that. Tell the whole story.
Sure. Okay.
This company has been struggling from its infancy. And the only thing I've been trying to do since April is make sure that no one else is taken advantage of. Y'all call me all type of liars, crooks and stuff like that behind my back. Tell the whole truth. Mr. Park doesn't know shit about algae. He took the information from Y and Kim and tried to make a business with ES&T, and now we're here. You had to wind up spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to understand the efficacy of this product. Am I wrong?
Hey, Ralph. Ralph, let me ask you this. Why were you trying to basically take over the company, um, and basically use this company as a platform to make the sales? Because I'm not asking about the logic behind that, but you basically wanted to do this because you knew that the product was working, correct?
How would I know the product?
Hold on,
No,
hold
no,
on.
no,
Let
no,
me
no.
answer
Here you
that.
go.
We all agreed to put Ralph in, and because he had the bandwidth to run the company, because everybody else is going on with their lives. And I don't know how changing the narrative right now to get it off so Nadal gets the truth and spin it. Let's finish one before we step into
No,
another.
Thomas,
Hold on,
I'm not
Jason.
spinning it. I'm just
You
asking
are
You
you.
have
spinning it because you
always
told
you have
Nadal.
always spin the narrative. Stay on the subject. What we're talking about with Nadal. Nadal told us that you guys, when we're not on the phone, that Ralph's a liar. Ralph's this, and we told Nadal we would get everybody on the call and we would show him who's lying and who's not lying. So I don't mind you asking another question, but stay on point. Don't change the narrative and let Nadal find out what has happened from the infancy of this company and what's happened and how people have been taken advantage of. You're talking about after $8 million was spent and he wasn't trying to take over the company. But let's get back to the point where Nadal is asking
Well,
questions.
second, let me ask another question. This is also going to be a hard question. Why do certain people, and they know who they are, why did they decide to walk away? And just basically just after they're gun ho, they collect all this money, all these. I mean, I feel bad for all these goddamn poor people that put up money. I mean, and some of them are my friends.
Mhm.
The attorney that I knew and Jim and some of the other people, they put the money in there. They did it under a clear conscience because of Jason and what Jason said. And I put my money up because of what Jason said. And when I find out all this stuff here was going on, and then all these guys, all of a sudden, they just say, well, we don't have time to deal with the company. We're just leaving. And then the other thing, Jason, is Ryan, on that little phone call that we had the other day with Ryan, you know what he said? Didn't make sense to me. You know what he said? When we were on the phone, he said, well, I wrote it off since 2021, and I don't care about it anymore. You heard that. You were on the phone. You heard that. Why would he write it off? Why? Why would he write it off? Why would you, Jason, walk away? Why would Park walk away? Why did everybody walk away from this company instead of being sitting over there and watching over everything and making sure everything goes right? You all turn your backs and leave. Why?
Nadal, I was an investor just like you. We invested. I didn't take a dime out of this company. I never, ever took a dime from this company. We all invested in this because we believe this product worked.
No, we
And
believe
again,
what
Ralph,
you told us. You are the glue behind all of this. We are all on this call because you know Taka, who knows Nathaniel. You know Park. You know Nadal, and you know Mark, and you know the board member of Thomas's organization, which is friends with your boss. Everyone invested because we believed and trusted you. And when every time shit hits the fan, you try to never take accountability for this. You're responsible for millions of dollars coming into this company.
Ralph, take accountability of what?
Of you protect Park. You weren't forthcoming with information. You have a conversation with me, then you go have a conversation with Nadal. I told you, Nadal says you're full of shit. Well, Ralph, Nadal says you're full of shit. No, Nadal, haven't I been straightforward with you every time we got on the phone?
This phone call, because I am so sick and tired of this. Is like a kid's game. I swear to God.
Yes.
In a company like this is like kids playing. And then the other thing is Jason, is the other two things that you try to hook me up with, which is now it all kind of makes more sense to me. That deal when you had KY come down here, when you pitched that big deal to me, and you told me that he wants to talk to me, and goddamn, the next day he came from Korea, and he was on the plane, and he was in Virginia, and he wanted to hit me for $3 million. And then the other thing is those guys that you tried to set me up with over there when we had the breakfast over there at the restaurant. What's that company's name? Shit, what's that? I can't remember the name of the company. That guy, that CEO, that turned out to be crooks. You know what I'm talking about, Ralph?
CEO, the guy.
It's a Mark Atkins company.
Yeah. These guys, you're trying to hook me up with that. They were trying to hit me for $500,000.
Oh, right. That was Renaissance.
Yeah, it's like, goddamn, it's like, what was I like? I was like kind of the hitman.
Yeah, and that's and then the lie behind that is that I was trying to start a company with Mark, which was a lie. But yeah, that's what happens in this organization. No one takes accountability. You guys, Ralph is not providing financials. Let me explain something to all of you guys. Since April, we've been in an asset sale situation. That equipment was used equipment that was an asset that we were selling. We haven't had no revenue besides $17,000 from totes that were sold between January and March. And to sit here, go ahead, Nadal.
Because this also got to do it. So this is going to the plant that we had in the equipment. Now, what is your assessment with the plant and the equipment that was inside the plant? And as far as also can the equipment produce the algae?
As of today, no.
Why is it when you took it over? Not as of today.
It wasn't working when the algae, the machines were not working. They were malfunctioning. You had two employees that were sitting there patching up algae tubes because the tubes were not maintained because the equipment was subpar. Nathaniel and ES&T got into a big a back and forth lawsuit almost because Nathaniel can tell you how bad the equipment was. But to sit here and say all of a sudden Ralph is saying the equipment doesn't work is a lie.
Hold on, I'm saying it the way it is. Nathaniel told me that the equipment was operational.
Nathaniel,
they were making algae. That's what he said. Isn't that true, Nathaniel?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, it was at the time that Ralph took over, there were definitely some problems. It was definitely getting older. It was subpar equipment. And
just be honest and just say no, the shit ain't working. I hate just dancing around it. Just say no, it's not working.
Well, it did.
You know that there was no sterilization in place for over 9 months. You know that.
This call is about being honest.
I am being honest.
So stop trying to create a boogeyman here and make me out to be the bad guy when this shit was done before I took over.
Look, the equipment was definitely on its last legs. No doubt about it.
So why are you told Nadal that it was working? If now you're saying it's on its last leg? You
It's
got
on, it was
Nadal
on
thing.
the, hey,
I get on video and I show,
Ralph,
hey Nadal, this
Ralph,
is not work.
please.
No, hold on.
Ralph, will you let me respond?
It works, you're full of shit. And
Yeah.
then he said, "Oh, here, I'm going to send you a video of the stuff." Basically, he said that the place was trashed, the equipment doesn't work, you can't use it for anything, you can't make algae with it. And it's like, what were we doing? What did all that money we spent down there for nothing?
So when I was there in January of last year, it was working. That's when Paul came down from Canada with Hooked Adventures. That was the last time I was down there. It was working. I saw it with my own eyes. We were producing at that point. That was
Nathaniel, do
my
you know how to
last
work the
day of
equipment?
Do I know how to work it? No,
Yes.
I can't run it myself.
Okay.
No.
Have you ever grown algae before?
No.
Okay. So then I'm telling you, as someone who has had to learn, and we paid consultants to grow the algae because
Right.
Mr. Park was unable to help me grow the algae, that the equipment, there's contamination in the equipment. Every time we tried to put together a culture, the culture would die
From the rotifers.
for the rotifers.
Mm-hmm.
We spent thousands and thousands and thousands of hours and dollars and time getting wet, going home smelling like algae, getting sick from having mold exposure because the equipment doesn't work. One side of the plant, Nathaniel, has never worked. You know that.
No, it worked at the very beginning. Yeah. So, but guys, it did produce this summer. You did inventory
What'd you
was
say, Nadal? Hold on. What'd you say, Nadal?
Say it worked at the beginning. What does that mean? Did it work for 2-3 weeks and it stopped?
Yes, the plant never fully operated. So this is the reason why, and this is the truth that no one wants to talk about. The reason why the plant never fully operated because you had Mr. Park and ES&T, people who are not algae experts, selling a system to Green Tech Ventures. The person that is the doctor and that actually owned the plant in Korea was betrayed and was not involved in the situation, who was the owner of Algae 4F. So Mr. Park and KY Lee were trying to figure it out as they got money from us, how to make this work. Nathaniel, am I wrong about that?
Yeah, here's where I agree with you. I just went along with this. I was a newbie. I went along with this. I'm not an algae expert. I am a manager and a good manager, I think, but I didn't know the algae business. And so I just followed the advice of Mr. Park.
Who was
And
supposed to be the subject matter expert and he's not.
so, I mean, that's.
Did you come there before Jason or Jason was there before you?
Nathaniel came in after Jason. Jason presented this idea to all of us.
No, hold on. Time out.
So Jason knew the whole thing about the algae thing, and he knows that he had to know that Mr. Park didn't know anything about it, right?
No.
That's my opinion.
Nadal. Mr. Park, I had introduced Mr. Park to Mark Atkins. And Mark Atkins, who is an engineer, so they had lots of conversation. And then Mark Atkins brought Ralph in because Ralph has a lot of experience doing marketing and doing startup. And so the idea of setting up a Green Tech Ventures came up through collaboration with everybody at the time. And then in the beginning, we needed the initial seed money. And so then we had gotten Nathaniel and Taka involved. And then we all kind of agreed that Nathaniel would lead this effort as a CEO. And that's how it started.
Jason, did you ever talk to, hold on.
Question. So I see how the process was supposed to be and everything, but then at any time, did anybody know that the product wasn't tested and that the product didn't work?
No, because Mr. Park was using the information from Algae 4F, and all of the data and all of the efficacy came from Algae 4F, and then
It goes to my point. So basically it's a scam because if nobody knew what we were selling, nobody knew what was in that sauce. Nobody knew anything about it. So how we go in there and collect money from people and tell them the story about this stuff and what this stuff can do and everything, and nobody knows anything about it?
So I think, Nadal, the simple answer is I trusted Mr. Park, and I was using, Ralph is correct. I was using the data from Korea as our initial testing, but then when it came to actual trying to do sales, everybody wanted to see data in the US. And that's the reason we hit the wall, is because people wanted to see real trial data that they could trust. So
Right. And
in good
Angela,
faith,
I talked to Angela.
Nadal, please let me complete.
Stuff doesn't
In
work.
good faith, I went and worked really hard. I think even Ralph would acknowledge that I worked really hard in good faith to try to make this happen. And I encountered a lot of roadblocks along the road. But I do not accept the fact of calling this a scam. I worked my butt off. I tried to make it work, and I tried to make sales, and it didn't work.
Hold on, Nathaniel. I understand what you're saying, okay? But listen, hear what I'm saying. So if you're the CEO of the company, okay? So if you're a CEO of a company, first thing, you got to know what the product is. You got to know what you're selling. So you were a CEO of a company with a product, no name product. You don't even know anything about it. You don't know if it works. How you become a CEO and you're going to sell the stuff when you don't know anything about it? According to Angela, the sauce you all have doesn't work.
I'm sorry that it doesn't. No, we showed again and again that it does work. So
Nathaniel, do you know how YM Kim knows what he thinks of how much information Mr. Park really knows about the algae?
you'll have to ask Mr. Park about that.
He thinks that Mr. Park knows about 1% of what about it. He's a water guy, and they're successful over there. When he got the letter, he still thought he had shares in the company, and it was doing well, and wanted to know. He's doing fine. They're doing fine. They're not bankrupt. They're into things, and they're doing fine. They don't want anything to do with us because of how things have went. And but said that they stole our product. They stole our information. They had students working at the university, and the government was putting information forward. And so as we've been doing our deep dive, and everybody's been accusing of trying to start other companies, we're just trying to figure out where all the mess was. How did we get here? And every day we get a new email from somebody, and going through all of the paperwork and things. And those boys were down at that farm, at that plant, sometimes an hour in a day if they showed up down there. Money was going out. The electric bill was through the roof because of the sublettees. They were spending more money in electricity. All these things were going on. I mean, we could go on and on and on about how poorly oversight was with everything. But you can't take people's money and not be responsible for all those things. All those things, at the end of the day, when you're the CEO, you're going to be held accountable for that. And if Mr. Park doesn't know, then you need to find someone who does know.
And that's why we that's why we segued to actually getting the real science. And that, I would think, is our biggest accomplishment, quite frankly, was understanding why this works. It's extremely frustrating that we weren't able to convert that into real sales. That is true. But we kept encountering various different hurdles that we had to overcome. And one of them, I openly admit, was that Mr. Park, who was our CTO, Chief Technical Officer, didn't have the appropriate knowledge. And that's when I came into this, he was already essentially the CTO.
Yeah, we all got duped.
Yeah. So I'm saying that I did my best, guys.
But Nathaniel, this is not, Nathaniel, hold on. This is not an attack on you. This isn't even an attack on Mr. Park. This is a moment and source of truth where people can stop gossiping, stop making up narratives to point fingers and stuff like this. I'm telling the story of how this happened. This company started off with false information. We were told one thing, that's not the truth. We were told Mr. Park had the way and the will and the way to get this moving forward. We were not disclosed. So let me ask you a question, Nathaniel. Did you know that Ryan represented Mr. Park in a lawsuit for a company before he was involved with this?
I don't think so. I do know that there was about 6 months or so before I came on board when all of you, it was, I think, Ralph,
It was
Mark.
everyone besides you and Thomas, because that we
Right, exactly. And there was some stuff going on in South Carolina, as I recall.
There was South Carolina. There was one algae company that failed. There was a
Right.
water business called Nabas that failed, and Ryan represented Mr. Park in that lawsuit.
No,
There's
I wasn't,
yeah.
as far as I recall, I
Are you
don't
aware? Are you aware
know.
that there's a potential fraud investigation of Mr. Park having a pilot testing that was done in Korea for biofuel for aviation, where they took a bunch of money, him and K. Wiley or him and someone else, and the project failed horribly. So from the get-go, this
Mhm.
has been a sham. YM Kim has said, "Hey, look, the reason why y'all aren't successful is because Mr. Parks came to our facility, he learned a little bit, and then he threw me under the bus and then tried to get investment and do business in the United States. So we understand why this has failed. And if you guys choose to continue to ignore that because you have a personal attachment to Mr. Park or because you feel you sympathize like I have,
Mhm.
then we're never going to get anywhere. But we have to understand that this is what happened. Instead of trying to worry about what did Ralph do with $270,000, I cleaned up a lot of shit. That's what I did.
Mhm.
I cleared a lot of the debt. I
Mhm.
was in the middle of negotiating with
Mhm.
the landlord to renew the lease. And guess what happened, Nathaniel? Like I
Mhm.
said, this is not about you.
Mhm.
You and Taka canceled the liability insurance, and that's what triggered the eviction.
No, we did not cancel. It was dropped because of lack of hurricane insurance.
Um, the
So
documentation shows that
yeah.
Taka sent a letter in. Maybe you didn't know this to cancel the insurance on November of 2023 because it was too expensive, and never notified Jonathan. That's so for think about this, Nathaniel. For 2 years,
I didn't know that.
I'm telling you what I have no reason to make this up because let me
Mhm.
say something to you. Let me preface everything I'm telling you. This company, now that I understand what's going on, there's nothing here for me to take for myself to go try to market and sell.
Mhm.
So I have no side project or side interest. The
Mhm.
only interest I have is to make sure no more money comes into this company, no one else is taken advantage of. As the
Mhm.
current CEO on paper, I can't, with everything that I know, I can't even approve through due diligence to sell this company to somebody because
Mhm.
it's all bullshit.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying to you is that's why we got evicted, not because of the rent not being paid.
Mhm. Okay, so
So for 2 years,
so
hold
what
on,
is
Nathaniel, for 2 years, you had employees there working. You had not you, I'm not saying personally, there were employees working, people visiting. They had basically a quasi farmers market there every weekend. They had 3 people subleasing the property. There's nothing protecting if anybody got hurt, if anybody stole anything from the property, we are we're blown in the wind. And that's why in the termination of the lease, it doesn't say anything about the insurance because that puts the landlord at risk.
Hmm.
Hey,
And
Okay.
hey, Rob, I'm
So
sorry. Hey, Nathaniel,
yeah.
uh, asking what Nadal had asked, whether a
Mhm.
product was working or not, you were able to raise a lot of money,
Mhm.
and you also gotten the patent. Can you give us some picture of, I mean, you guys done lots of tests,
Mhm.
so can you at least give us some picture whether the product worked or not?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what's so frustrating, guys, is honestly, we did test after test after test. There is a lot of data there. We did it in multiple countries. We did it with multiple products, and almost always it showed a discernible improvement. I mean, a market improvement in many cases. And that we have lots of evidence for. The product works. What we were not able to do is convert that information into sales. We hit a roadblock with the retail sales. We tried to we pivoted to B2B sales, which in retrospect was probably a mistake because it took too darn long to convince the big players that, because they would want to see multiple years of evidence, and we were running out of time. So these were all business decisions that were.
Would you say that? Hold on, Daniel. Would you?
So the answer is yes, there's lots of evidence the product works. We just did not have the right reasons for why it was working until really the last year or two.
Yeah. Well, Nadal, you were saying what now?
What about the sales? And I had this discussion with him, with Nathaniel about the sales many times. So he goes ahead and hires Angela, okay? So the sole purpose, when I talked to him about it, is he hired her, and she was supposed to go out there and push sales. So basically, she was supposed to sell, and she turned from sales to data analysis. And it's like, why did she do that? Well, because she didn't feel like going out there and selling. That's why.
Well, I can tell you how she would respond is there's no way to sell without data.
But Nathaniel, do you know the reason why you don't have the data is because we stole this from Algae4F?
No.
I'm telling Nathaniel, I'm telling you.
Ralph, we created our own data by
yes, and that metabolite platform is outdated. When you go and do patent searches, people have been doing that for 6 or 7 years. That's not why the product works.
No, it is. We did, Ralph, that's incorrect.
They didn't have any data. That answers my question because he just said it.
We did originally when I came on board, the data we were using, that is correct, is from Korea.
Okay. Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. What I said is true. About when I was brought in, I was under the impression that I was told that you all did the study, you had the data, we just got to do the plan, and we got to mass produce the stuff and sell it. That was really the sole purpose of the whole thing. I wasn't told that we're going to spend 5-6 years doing testing.
Nadal, I had no idea about that myself at that time. I really didn't. That's a simple answer. I didn't know.
So what fast forward to what the couple of emails that have come through over the last couple of days. What is the expectation from me? What do you guys, now that I have all this information and I've shared this with everyone and I've tried to present things to you, what are you guys expecting to happen?
Actually, I was expecting you to tell us something about where we are. I mean, we really don't know. We haven't heard what's happened.
Nathaniel, I told y'all in June where we were.
No. I'm talking about
stop. No. We were in an asset sales. Huh?
Right this moment, where are we? Is all the equipment still at the facility or is it not? I mean, it's now.
Where can we put it?
Where are we going to put it?
Who has you? I live in a deed restricted community. Where could we put that equipment? It's sitting right where it was.
Oh, okay, all right.
What we no longer do with it?
But GTV can no longer go into the facility, right? I mean, he's evicted us or evicted GTV. Is that not correct?
Yes, but but Nathaniel, what is your angle? What would you like to happen? Because I sent you guys the emails. We got on a call with you where we all talked about a month ago selling our voting shares and walking away. You took that conversation in the transcript and you went back to the people that were supposed to be buying it and told them everything, which was fucked up and wrong.
I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying.
What do you mean, Nathaniel? We had a meeting with the voting shareholders that you were on the call.
That's correct.
We all agreed that we were going to sell our voting shares.
Yes, that's correct.
Recorded the conversation.
Yeah.
And you gave that information back to the preferred shareholders to include the people that we're trying to negotiate with to sell.
I don't understand. I'm sorry.
How do you not understand this? This is an email. Okay, one of your preferred shareholders mistakenly emailed me thinking it was you and Taka and Oscar with the email thread in it that says, hey, did Kagan take over yet? In response to an email where Oscar is saying, here is a transcript that Nathaniel provided from the voting shareholders meeting about what Ralph is trying to do. So you went after we had a collective agreement to negotiate for them to buy our shares out and told them everything and recorded the conversation without anyone's consent and gave them the transcript. What don't you understand that you did?
Okay, well, I was trying to. First of all, I agreed that I wanted to get bought out myself, just like all of you, right?
So you're advocating for, as always, you advocate for yourself and not the whole group.
No. I just said, along with everybody else, I wanted to get, some payment for our voting shares.
You have been
However,
advocating for Kagan to take the company over. All right.
No, because here's
Nathaniel,
Ralph,
it's in,
Ralph,
you're
listen to me.
on me. It's in
If they're
black
not-
and white.
Ralph, listen to me. What I was advocating for is that Kagan would make an investment in the company. And that was the investment which was on the table, which was for 750,000 for 60% of the company. So that is what I was advocating for.
Why are you, that's not, you're a voting share. You remember the quote, voting shareholder? You are a voting shareholder. Why are you advocating for anybody and doing backdoor deals and trying to undermine me? What is your,
No, it's-
that's why I'm
it's
trying,
not-
hold
on the
on, let me
contrary.
finish.
I
I
wanted-
need to understand what your angle is. What do you want? Why did the people that you try to sell the company for $12 million, which is Paul Mann, why is he acquiring the Mexican facility and how does he even know about it? Because he's getting the information from you.
No, I have not been in touch with him for many months.
Nathaniel, we are having a conversation where it is okay to admit that you messed up and that you didn't tell the truth. Because
No, I
y'all
did
are not
I
going to paint me
disagree
as
with
the
that.
the
I disagree
boogeyman.
with that. No.
How does he know about the facility that he mistakenly emailed me saying that he acquired in Mexico?
Look, I have nothing to do with that.
You did have something to
How
do
would
with it.
he
You
know?
gave him all the data for free.
How would he
because
know? How would he
because
know?
a year ago, guys, listen to me. Because a year ago, when we started our conversations, I told him there was a facility in Mexico.
And you gave him all the data for free. Gave him a license agreement that we told you not to do. So
No, that's also not true, Ralph.
What do you mean it's not true?
Never show me the proof that that the board told me not to do that.
Well, everybody's on the call now, and if maybe unless some people got amnesia, we all said don't do anything without the consent of all of us,
That's what we all said. We were all on this call. Everybody that's here right now was
including
on
the
the call
dog.
and said, Nathaniel, stop. Don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you said,
No.
well,
You said
wait
don't
a minute.
spend any money.
You said, well, I thought it was such a good deal. I wanted to show you guys. And we said, Nathaniel, we told you don't do anything unless we all agree on it. And you went ahead and did that anyway.
But you had already, before you signed that agreement, you got to remember, my email is your old inbox. So I see all the emails.
Mm-hmm.
You already had given him all of the data for him to go apply for the Omri certification in Canada. You shared all of the secrets or whatever beforehand anyway.
That we paid thousands of dollars for.
All of the data that you talk about, oh, we spent data this, data that, and then you give it away to him. You gave it away to Bernie. And then when I found out that you gave it away to Bernie, that's why the Bernie and I don't speak anymore, because he's full of shit too.
Mm-hmm.
And you know Bernie's full of shit.
You gave him everything. He was here trying to Bernie told me that Nathaniel gave me all the information I needed for my son to try to grow algae. And Bernie evidently is a millionaire. Why are we giving him any damn thing?
Because we were trying to build partnerships.
Partnerships is done with writing, and you have contracts. And until he signs a contract, you were just giving away all the money that you spent. You gave it to him,
which is cool if you're giving away to build partnerships. But then you're telling investors how valuable the company is, but you're giving away the data for free. It doesn't make sense.
Look, I was building partnerships, and
well, you didn't do that correctly, and that's okay. That's okay.
Maybe not.
That's okay, but we're here now. So what are you trying to salvage at this point? The last conversation I had with you all, You were supposed to be supportive of us selling our shares
I
to
am.
Kagan. Hold
I
on.
still am.
Jason said that he was ready to donate his shares to Nadal, but then Nadal calls me up saying that, oh, you guys are saying that Ralph, Ralph, they're saying that you're full of shit. Full of shit about what? What have I been full of shit about?
Hey, Ralph.
Well,
Nathaniel, hold on for a second.
Mhm.
The only thing I had called you because Nadal had called me and said, Jason, I haven't gotten any financials. What's going on? Have you spoken to Ralph? And then I called you and you said, Jason, by end of the month, I'm working with a accountant, trying to get the financials by end of the month. So I relayed that information to Nadal and Nathaniel because they were asking if I had spoken to you. Now, based on that, if you think I'm talking bad about you or anyone else, that's absolutely not true, and I don't want to be included in that. Okay.
This
And
is like
and then second thing, Ralph and Thomas, what you mentioned about Mr. Park about uh, this relationship with the other company, I think it's fair for Mr. Park, who's on the call, to explain that because if some improper actions were taken, all of us on this call, we would not have been involved. So unless I'm completely been doofed, I
You
think it's
have.
fair for him to provide that information.
Jason, I'm gonna help you out right quick, and then I'm gonna bow out of this because no matter what anybody tells you, what Mr. Park doesn't know is we have his old computer, okay? And in his old computer, and then he copied all his old emails and put in a folder.
Here's his old computer. All the hard drive has been removed. I took everything off of it. Mr. Park printed out all his emails and put them in a folder and left them at the facility. And that's how I know all this information. You guys think I'm some sort of hacker, but the information was left at the plant.
All of his old files, all his old emails were printed out, and everything is in black and white. And if you want a copy of it, you can have it. I was shocked when Ralph showed me all the emails that were printed out. So it doesn't matter what he says. I know what he wrote in his computer, and I know what he's done. And so have at it. But we know.
Okay, and Thomas, before you drop, because you're right. I mean, you're the one who were responsible for selling, and you helped us get into Sweet Life. I mean, from your perspective, was the product working, and hence why they were buying?
I can tell you this, the product was working and I was being undermined. I told Nathaniel I was being undermined.
Yeah,
And Nathaniel undermined me just as much as Mr. Park undermined me. I did $1,300,000 in sales while I was with the company. And how did it go from 1,300,000 to zero the moment they get rid of me? That's a real simple thing to ask.
No,
but Thomas, I'm just asking. You were able to sell because you knew that the product was working.
We proved efficacy that the product was working.
Okay.
And then here's what happened. You can't tell one farmer one thing and another farmer another thing, and then when they hear about it, they get pissed off with you. And I said to everybody from the very beginning, if we come down to Florida, please understand that Plant City is like Mayberry. These people go to church together, they all hang out together, they all talk, and they always smile in your face. But if you don't understand the landscape that you're in, you're over your head. And
Yeah.
nobody listened to me. And
So
I backed
Jason,
off.
Jason, you're asking that question to say what? I'm not saying that no one's saying that the product doesn't work.
No, I know.
I've never said that.
No. No, Nadal was asking, so I'm just trying to
Yeah.
respond to
Yeah.
that.
The product was working,
We
but
told Nadal the
it was
product.
the
Nobody,
relationships. And
Yeah.
Our plant does not work.
Angela wouldn't sell, Jason, I'll answer your question. I would go and I showed Ralph and I took him to the farms. I would go to a farm and I would work a whole day with the farmers and I would help them. And I would get in there and move. They had to move stuff, I would move it. If they had to do anything, I would do it. I would help them and I would build relationships. And what Angela thought she could come in and just take over and build from there. And the emails and shit that she sent, and Nathaniel, you knew. You act like you didn't know that what she sent. You knew about it because we see the emails that you knew about it.
Can you be
when
more
she went
specific?
behind my back, and you guys let me go. And at the end of the day, you got what you deserved because she wasn't willing to go and sweat her ass off in 100-degree weather on these farms and help these farmers become friends. That's what I did.
Hmm.
And that's why we don't have sales.
So, if I can address that,
Nadal
Thomas,
is talking.
What'd you say, Nadal?
if I can address Thomas, uh,
You-
I agree. I agree, Thomas, that you worked your butt off and you worked really hard. But at the time that we let you go, and remember, we also let somebody go in California at the time, the sales were actually less than the salary we were paying to you and less than the
Your phone is
salary
breaking up.
paying to somebody in California. That's 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 the simple truth. So we were not even covering our expenses of paying salaries at that point.
What about the email is why does Thomas get to be a part of this company and I'm not? Um, and how did you answer that when we were one of the original people that got it? You guys went 18 months and couldn't get it on a farm. And
Mhm.
as a partner, I would have shut her down asking a question about one of my partners,
Mhm.
and you didn't. I can go on and on. I've seen enough emails to know. Come on, guys, this company is only as good as the foundation it was built on, and
Mhm.
the foundation is pretty damn shaky.
Yes, I think we started off with a lot of I think more dreams than uh, real solid foundation. All I can say is I really tried to do my best, and I wasn't trying to scam anybody. I was trying to navigate quite a lot of different personalities and different viewpoints. I will certainly concede that Angela had her viewpoints that I didn't always agree with. Um, and so,
I mean,
um,
nobody's painting Angela as a bad person. She was completely
no.
correct about Mr. Park.
Mhm.
So the thing is, this is not about you and this is not about Mr. Park. This call is about why are we trying to keep something alive and take more money in that we know has failed?
Well, no, no. At this point, the 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 interest is really in Japan.
So go do
So
business. What does that have to do with this?
very little. I mean, the Kagan is the one that is continues to be interested in how to move forward.
I wouldn't know anything about that, Nathaniel, because they don't reach out to me. They reach out to you.
Well, they have reached out to you to
They
make
haven't
some
talked to me in
offer.
about a month.
No. Yes, they asked you for financial information. They haven't gotten it.
Why would I give them? Why they don't need in order to make an investment? They don't need to know that financial information to give us a binding offer. That
No, they
comes through.
do need
No,
to
no, no,
know. They
no, no. They
do.
don't need to know how much the salaries were paid. I gave them the information. No, that's all
What
a
they do,
control
what they
mechanism.
mostly want, honestly,
Why are
Ralph.
you advocating for Kagan? Your partners are on the phone.
Hmm.
Where are
Because
your partners, not Kagan? Do you not understand that?
yes, I totally understand that. And I'm telling you that I think this is the best route because there's no other route. We're out of money.
Nathaniel, I will say this to you, and I'll say this to everybody on this call, and you guys can take this however you may want to take this.
Hmm.
There will be no more money coming into Green Tech Ventures.
Hmm.
Okay? If you guys understand how the bylaws are set up. The board is not
Yes.
changing. The only change that's
Yep.
happening with the board is we are going to ask Mr. Park to resign based off the information that we found.
Hmm.
And so it's a conflict of interest with everything that we've had going on for Mr. Park to be on the board.
Hmm.
We're asking Mr. Park to resign and we can find someone else to replace him, or we can continue the process that we set forth, which was to close the company down voluntarily.
Hmm.
Okay? I am not resigning from this company. I had told you guys that I would, but I'm not because I'm not allowing any more money to come into this company and I'm not allowing anybody else to be taken advantage of. So you being friends with the preferred shareholders need to convey that message to them. And now Nadal has been on this phone and he understands that nothing that I've told him was wrong and make a
Well,
decision. What did I, what?
Ralph, what
Nathaniel?
you did, Ralph, you've had a chance to talk. You have said things that were wrong. You told Nadal, did you not, that the reason that why you were opened up the Relay account was that you were it doesn't make wire transfers.
That's not
You
what I told Nadal. That's not what I said at all. We had
Nadal?
no, I said that we were not able to make ACH transactions, and they turned the feature back on in November. But that's irrelevant. That's like me saying Jason has been on the account of Green Tech Ventures up until the account charged off. What does that have? The day-to-day operations of this company has nothing to do with you. Nothing. You are a voting shareholder. Did you
That's
forget that?
correct. Yes,
So
of course
how
I
I
did.
handle Relay versus John Marshall Bank, which is being closed tomorrow for the information and for reasons I explained, has nothing to do with you.
Mhm.
These are semantics and they're distraction tactics. So
Yes, I would say you've been using semantics, but
so
let's
what
move
that I
forward.
have a Relay bank account that so what?
But there's absolutely no visibility in how
Okay,
money
I
has
didn't
come
have,
to
no one had visibility when you were CEO. We got
That's
one
not true.
email and we
That's not true.
one email and one meeting a year. And that's exactly what you will get moving forward as a voting shareholder. You will not
Right.
get bank statements. You will not get any, you will not be extended any courtesies. So your best bet is to stop trying to blow smoke up the preferred shareholders' asses and allow them to write their losses off and close the company down. That's what your best bet is. You will never see another dollar from this company. You will never execute those shares. Nobody else is being taken advantage of here. So you can go tell that, and I will send this recording to them because it doesn't matter. I will stay as CEO unpaid. It doesn't matter until that happens. We offered you guys a way to move forward. You decided not to go with that. You
We're
got all,
holding people
So
hostage.
you are saying that you're not going to give
you can
financial
take my
statements
words, or you
to
can contort my words like you always do any way you want. I am telling you,
wording words.
I'm telling you that no money is coming into this company for future investment. I'm not signing off. The board is not signing off.
Okay.
Okay,
You've made
There
that
are people, guys.
Jason and Ryan are ready to walk away. They wanted to donate their shares to Nadal. Nadal knows the company has no value, but you guys we're sugarcoating that. Let people write their loss off and close the company. But no, you, like you just said, what you did with Kagan, what you want to do is you want to see it through. Go do business elsewhere and everybody can go about their way. We can share the data with everyone. But to keep people hostage when they can write their losses off is criminal. On top of the criminal things that have happened.
So if we close the company, do we all have access to all the data?
Yes, I don't. Why do I care? Yes, absolutely.
There was a data room. You gave everybody access to the data room.
Yep.
I don't. There's no. I don't see the difference with me. I don't have a self-fulfilling interest. I don't want to. It doesn't matter about Japan because I know the truth. This is not a sustainable business. None of the partners trust anyone. All the partners have badmouthed and screwed each other over. This is a bad, toxic company. Close it down.
I mean, I do agree with you. It's toxic. I mean, I don't know who the hell you trust in there.
Close it down. And if you guys know this, if there was a way to remove me or fire me, you would. But that's not possible the way that the board is currently set up. So
I just think that if we had shut it down, like I talked to Steve, he just wants to
a
be able to
write-off.
write off his investment and
Okay.
write this off as a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it is right now, he's being held hostage.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wants to just say, listen, he goes, I'm over, it was $200,000. He goes, I saw the difference at work. He goes, but I don't want to get involved with the company anymore because I don't trust it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Stop fighting it. It's not going to change. No, we're not. If you want to go do your own algae business, or Mr. Park wants to do it,
Never.
or whoever, go do your own business. It doesn't matter. But stop holding people hostage. You have Jason wants to walk away. I'm only here to make sure no more money comes in or nobody else gets taken advantage of. That's why I'm staying CEO until otherwise. I'm not signing off. And I can't, in good faith, with all that has happened. Maybe you couldn't, Nathaniel, but me, I'm not signing off on any due diligence after all I've discovered. Okay? So you could tell your friends and you could tell the preferred shareholders that we're in a stalemate. And nothing is going to change. I'm not, all this stuff about legacy pool out the window. I tried to offer an alternative. Y'all thought that there was a self-fulfilling interest. I have zero interest in working with any of you guys ever again. You asked about my future plan to make sure that I never get wound up in a circle of web with folks that are on this call. You guys are self-fulfilling. You guys do what you want when it's convenient. You guys are not forthcoming. And that has been the problem with me and you guys from day one. You guys don't like the fact that I'm abrasive, but I do my due diligence and I call out bullshit. And that's okay. Go about your business. I'll go about mine. But no more money is coming into this company. Kagan is not, there's no offer coming. If they want to go do business in Japan, go do business in Japan. If they want the data, they can have the data. The patents that you were rushing to file, who gives a shit about those? They're not worth anything. Do what you want to do with them. But to sit here and try to manipulate me and, oh, I'm a creditor. You're not a creditor. Cut the bullshit. Your credit card bill didn't get paid because we agreed with the emphasis of Jason not to pay the credit card. When you guys are powwowing, did y'all talk about that?
I've never
And
talked
Ralph,
to Jason
I
about the
wish,
credit card.
Ralph, please don't accuse of me
You
or
didn't-
anyone on this call
Jason,
about powwowing. Please.
Jason, we
Please.
agreed collectively, and you emphasized several times, you said specifically, do not pay that fucking bill. Nathaniel recklessly ran it up.
I did
Okay,
say,
so
of course I did.
stop. So that's what happened. If that's what you said.
But what I'm saying is don't accuse me of powwowing. Only thing I wanted to do was Nadal wanted to know what was going on, and I reached out to you.
No, Jason, all I'm saying is there's a lot. I've told you this to your face before. You are the connector, and you never want to say, oh, you're always protecting Mr. Park, and you always think that I'm just out here to be the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy. I'm not
Ralph,
the boogeyman.
I'm not. I'm protective of everybody on this call, but in fairness, I think we do need to give a little bit of audience to Mr. Park.
For what?
I mean, I would love to hear from him what he's being accused of.
Go ahead. I mean, he can speak like everybody else.
Who's that, Mr. Park?
Yeah.
Hello?
I don't know. From him.
I'm listening. Yeah.
Mr. Park, what do you have to say?
You don't want to talk.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Nadal. I have no word. This is ridiculous. I don't know what to say. No talk.
Nadal, do you have any other additional questions?
Questions. What I was trying to say, Jason, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
Yes,
we can hear you.
Jason keeps saying that he just wanted to check with you, that I asked him and but this shit, it didn't just happen yesterday. It's been happening for years. It didn't just start happening yesterday for him to ask you what happened. This stuff, I mean, it gets a lot deeper and deeper and deeper. All these things that I was kind of told recently in the past couple of weeks, I didn't know anything about all this stuff. That's why I said there was no transparency in this company at all. And I feel like I've been shammed, honestly. And I don't know. I can't believe that this shit happened like that. But, here's the person that I went to school with, was a friend with, and I trusted him and everything. And I did it under his trust because I don't know anybody else in the company. I wouldn't give a shit about anybody else. And then on top of all that, to find out all this shit's been going on, and he knew all about it, and they never said about it, never told me anything about it. That's really very bad.
Yeah, Nadal, please don't say that. All this information is new to me as well. And also, you were in the board meeting whenever Nathaniel had board meetings, you participated in those meetings. I was not.
But
And
all the
so,
stuff we're talking about right now, it never came up in the board meetings.
no, but what I'm saying is for you to saying, yes,
When
Ralph is right. Ralph is right.
when you
I am the connector. I made the connections, but we all believed we had something special. The product was working. We had something special. But for you to make that kind of accusation that this was a sham and I knew about it, that is nonsense. I put my own personal money into this. I never took out a dime from this company. I wanted to see something positive out of this experience. I'm on the same side as you are, Nadal.
Mhm.
We all need to be on the same side. We need to let the madness end. End it.
Yes.
End it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Jason, you've been trying to get out, walk away. I'm only here to, I already said why I'm here. This is not about money. This is not about
Right.
taking technology. This is not the technology that I can do something fruitful with.
Right.
I already have confirmed that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's not about the relationships and friendships and acquaintances I built in this discovery process. It is what it is, but don't ask me what my future plans are. It's nobody's business. My future plan is to make sure that this never happens again.
I think you've made that clear. I think you've made that clear.
Okay,
And to Nadal, I just want to say the following. I give you my absolute word, it was not a scam. I tried my best. I took the information I had. I wasn't actually even trying to become the CEO. It was kind of Mr. Park offered me the CEO.
I told y'all that. Yeah,
I
remember
was,
I said this
yes,
in the meeting and y'all said I thought I was crazy. Oh, let's make the tall white guy the CEO. That's how this happened. Did I make that up too?
I don't remember that. I really don't. But listen, I tried my best. I never scammed anything. I believed in the product. I tried my best. Was I perfect? No. But I just want to convey that to Nadal that I tried to have I did have quarterly meetings. I had monthly updates for many years to all of the shareholders. And as you noticed, it was all about trials because that was the only thing that was happening. So you kept banging on about sales. You were right, but we just didn't get them. And I'm sorry.
And it's okay, and that's okay. It's business. It's okay for business to not work out, but
Yes.
to continuously have to try to keep it going. I understand your friends have put up money. Jason,
Yes.
I'm saying this to Jason and Nathaniel. I understand. I understand that the intention was good, but look at
Thomas did as well. Thomas had friends put up money as well.
Mark and I had friends put up money. It might not have been those big numbers like you guys, but money is relative. But what we are doing now by not letting people walk away and just hold them into in this abusive relationship, let it die. No one if anyone wants to do another business, if Kagan wants to do stuff, they're free to go talk to Rotaro. The equipment is on the ship now.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure that if you look at the bank statements and you guys, the financials will be coming either after this call or in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the equipment has been delivered, I made them all that negotiating with breaking the payments down. I talked to Rotaro about the situation and he paid us before the end of the year, everything.
Yep.
Okay. So I wanted to make sure he got his equipment.
Yeah. Congratulations.
And I did that. I made sure that he knows he knows who to contact properly to grow the algae. We trained him on it. We spent a lot. Yes, we had equipment sale, but we spent a lot of money to produce that equipment. And to sit here and accuse me like, what is Ralph doing with the money? Ralph is trying to get the main thing was we had an asset sale and to get that equipment to an innocent investor that purchased the equipment. I didn't want to see him caught up in this mess. And it's done.
Yep. And thank you.
So you guys are fighting me and with Kagan now that he has the equipment on the boat, which is it'll be in Korea in a week and a half, and then it'll go to Japan. Go talk to him and see what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Tell
Okay.
Kagan, the guy that owns Kagan, spoke to Rotaro. Rotaro came to the plant 3 times and was mopping, cleaning, working with us, getting his hands dirty, trying to understand what's going on. He's a good man.
Yeah,
But
he is a good man.
I'm not putting him in this web of bullshit. We have not done the right thing amongst each other.
Yeah.
So why bring other continuously? You got your buddies at Buchanan. You've got Jason. Now he's got to figure out what his relationship is going to be with Nadal. End it. End it. It's not about, well, Ralph did this, he came in and did this, and if I'm successful in 4 or 5 or 6 years, that's because of my own doing, not because I took anything from Green Tech Ventures. There's nothing here to take.
Okay.
If you want the patents, take them.
Okay.
If you want the name, nobody, but close the business.
Okay. All right. I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear, Ralph.
I mean, what's to say, and I gotta go. I mean, this is enough for me.
Yes, so that's my request to you guys. Let's talk to your constituents and let's figure out how to close the business. Bankruptcy is too expensive, and I'm sure Jason, Ryan, Park, y'all don't want the federal government digging more. I've already digged enough. Just close the business.
Okay.
You guys have a good night, and I'm going to watch the Grammys.
Okay. All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.